Counsel of the Day with Shanrae, and I am Shanrae. Please like and share as you come in. We're going to let this play for a minute. I do not own the rights to this song. But welcome to Counsel of the Day with Shanrae, and I am Shanrae. Welcome to Counsel of the Day with Shanrae. I am Shanrae. Okay, we're going to let it play for a few minutes, and then we're going to go on and get started. I do not own the rights to this song. This is our theme song for the month, Mariah Carey's Emotions, and that is our topic for the month as well. Emotions, yes. As you come in, please like and share. Hi, Alicia. How are you? So good to see you. All right. We're going to go on and get started because this 30 minutes will be up so quickly. All right. Good evening, and welcome to Counsel of the Day with Shanrae. And I am Shanrae. This month, our series, we will be talking about, and we have already started talking about emotions, the three components of emotions. And so it is so good to see you all. Hi, Superwoman. We're going to go on and get started. I'm going to start with my disclaimer. Please excuse me. My necklace is really challenged on this evening. Okay, let me see, because it's a little off. Okay, I'm going to fix my clothes the way I can. We're going to get started with my disclaimer, and then we're going to move on. So glad to see you all. Hi, Benjamin. Good to see you. Hi, Gail. Hi, Judith. How are you? All right, we're going to get started. Please be advised, please be aware that due to the nature of the technology that I am using, there can be no assurance of confidentiality when using this online service. It should be also noted that due to changes in policies that all replies are to be based as advisory and informational only and will not constitute an official determination. So information provided by myself or any other religious leader or someone with life experience are subject to the limitations of the current and available material. But the final responsibility for successfully achieving a goal rests with you, the individual. Information online is designed to be helpful. However, this information does change frequently again, and it is recommended that you will consult other physicians, other specialists, other religious leaders to aid in your overall behavioral wellness. So we're going to go on and get started. Hey, Tangi, how are you? That's my girl. So we're going to go on and get started. Hi, Cole. How are you? This is an open platform, so you're more than welcome to chime in. You can write down if you have like any life experience or something that you may have experienced according to the topic that we're talking on this month. You're more than welcome, even if you want to come in live. If you want to come in live, I can bring you in live, and we can talk briefly within this 30 minutes. It is a 30-minute platform. So I say this every time I get on. I am a Christian counselor. I'm a degree Christian counselor. My degrees are from Ashford University. I have been doing counseling. I've been doing life coaching for a number of years as of now. So we're going to go on and we're going to get started. So because it's 30 minutes is going to go by very quickly. Thank you, Tangi, girl. I miss you so much. I miss you. Okay, let me fix this again. My necklace is a little challenged this evening. So is my outfit. Okay, we're gonna I don't know. It's a little off. Okay, listen, I'm gonna leave it alone. Hold on, I'm gonna leave it alone. Okay, so this is the three components of emotions. We're on week 2, part 2. I came on Tuesday night and I did my first part, and now Thursday we're going to finish up. And we're talking about the physiological part of your emotions, which is up here, like the front part of your brain, different parts of your brain. Hey, Swaysa, how are you? But I want to start with my scripture text for the month, which is Romans 12:2. And I'm coming from the amplified version. And it says, and do not be conformed to this world any longer with its superficial values and customs, but be transformed and progressively changed as you mature spiritually by the renewing of your mind, focusing on godly values and ethical attitudes, so that you may prove for yourselves what the will of God is, that which is good and acceptable and perfect in his plan and purpose for you, for your life. Okay. Hey, I'm fine, Soy, so it's good to hear from you. That's Brazil in the house. All right, so I always try to start with a definition. Tonight, I'm going to break down a definition of physiological. All right, so physiological is defined as relating to the way in which a living organism or person or a bodily part functions. So it's physiological. It just explains how we function as a body of people or organism, however. All right, so let's get started. How does your body react to stressors? Okay, and it's called, actually, stressors are called physiological arousals, to how your internal body state changes in return to these stresses, or your outward body. So the first thought that comes to most people's mind when we speak of arousal, which I said again on Tuesday, is, you want to think of it in like a sexual arousal term, but that's not the type of arousal that I'm referring to right now. I'm talking about a mental type of arousal. Okay, so what we learned on Tuesday is that physiological is ultimately a biological type of thing. What's going on in your mind, what's going on in your body. Okay, and so happiness is a helpful, is very helpful. It causes a helpful state in your body, whereas depression and anger makes us vulnerable to all kinds of unhealthy well-being. All right, so we already talked about how your body reacts with the outward type of stressors. How your eyes may widen or dilate, your heart rate is going to increase, your mouth may get dry, your digestive system. A lot of times, people sometimes are not hungry. You just don't have an appetite when you're under stress. Or some people stress eat, like we said. They may not even be hungry, but they're gonna eat. They just eat to just soothe them. And it's some people begin to sweat. Some people's hair starts to be raised on their body. Some people's breathing increases, like you start breathing harder. In worst case scenarios, your immune system starts to break down, which I shared with you all on Tuesday night that I was diagnosed with an autoimmune disorder a few years back, and they told me that it was directly due to high stress levels in my life. Okay, so I'm going to back this up a little bit. Let's talk about the processes. Let's define stress. Okay, so the process by which we perceive and respond to certain events or stressors that we view as challenging or threatening. Okay, so which means that stress isn't actually an emotion. It's a reaction to a disturbing or a disruptive occurrence. So I'm going to say that again. Research has shown that stress is not an emotion. Stress is a reaction. It's a reaction to a disturbing or disruptive type of event that you may be going through, such as a catastrophe type of event, like war, natural disaster, terrorist attacks. A lot of people went through high stressors when they experienced in New Orleans, the Hurricane Katrina. That was a catastrophe. And it really took a lot of people, their stress levels, and it caused even their health to be affected due to that horrible act of God. What we call it, the act of God. Significant life changes like moving or divorcing, death of a loved one, that causes stress in your life as well. And then some everyday inconveniences like getting caught in traffic or running late or arguing with a family member, that's stress too. That's stressful too, kind of get you doing stuff that you normally don't do. I had a friend, she was in a relationship prior to getting married to her husband. This was years ago. And she called me because she just needed to start talking to unwind. She needed a listening ear. And I remember her saying to me that she was arguing, at the point of arguing so with her at the time boyfriend. She was like frying some chicken, and she said that she was just so stressed out till she didn't realize that she had she thought she was leaning her hand on the counter. She said she put her hand in the hot grease and was frying her hand and didn't even realize that she didn't feel the pain at the time. She didn't realize that she was frying her own hand because she was in such an intense argument with her at that time boyfriend. And see, these are the type of things that can happen when you're up under like unusual type of stressors. You may wind up reacting and doing some things that you normally wouldn't do, or you're unaware of doing. And when she pulled her hand out, thank God she had a first aid kit, and it wasn't third degree burns. It was burnt, but it wasn't third degree burns, thank God. But she realized at that time, yes, Tangi, that's when she realized at that time that relationship was toxic. It was not healthy for her, and she had to get out of it because she was frying her own hand, having an argument with her at that time boyfriend. But thank God she realized at that time, this is someone that she wasn't even married to or whatever. They were just dating, and the stress levels were so crazy that she started doing unusual things that were illogical, or just, and actually harming herself. So we're gonna talk about, because we're gonna talk about this, trying to get away from these high stressors and stuff like this. Now, research also says that stress isn't always a bad thing. A moderate amount of stress is actually needed in some of our instances to aid in helping the body to make the right choice. So stress causes your brain to release either adrenaline or cortisol hormones, which will aid you in the fight or flight decision-making process. For example, like if you're running for your life or something like that. It's the extreme amount of stress that brings on the health issues. That extreme amount of stress is what brings on the health issues, and like that PTSD, the post-traumatic stress disorder. But that we're gonna talk about that next week. Okay, so but having a moderate amount of stress is not always bad, because again, it'll start pumping those adrenaline and those cortisol type of hormones, which will get you to like they said, that fight or that flight type of thing. Like if you're in a situation and maybe you have to make a decision at work concerning something like that, and so it's an unusual type of thing. You have to make a right now decision. That cortisol or that adrenaline will start pumping in you, and then it'll help you to either, if you're gonna fight, let me think. You or you just gonna be like, you know what? If this is not my problem, this is my manager's. That's my manager's issue. I'm just gonna let them handle it. That's that flight type of thing. Okay, so it's stress. A moderate amount of stress is not bad, not all the time. Okay, but we're gonna get down to this high stress. Okay, so the question right now is, can we train our brain to stay on react mode, just to react rather than to respond? All right, so yes, research has shown yes, we can. As a matter of fact, it's automatic to react. But if we're constantly meditating on negative scenarios, we're training ourselves how to react to that same situation or a similar situation later on. Okay, so the bottom line is yes, go ahead and feel your emotions, but don't wallow in them. Repeating or rehearsing a negative occurrence in your mind over and over again can and will cause negativity in your health, your mental health, your physical health, and your outlook on things, as well as your relationships. So in a situation, ask yourself this question: am I responding or am I reacting? And yes, we can train our brains. So this is what research says. So what is the difference in responding and reacting? All right, so while the distinctions may seem to be one of semantics, like one and the same, The impact of each one in your life can be huge because reacting is an instinctual behavior directed by the reptilian brain. Okay, so this is scientific. Where they say we have some people have the reptilian brain, and responding is a conscious choice involving input from the more evolved part of your brain. Okay, so to simplify drastically, the human brain evolved into stages, beginning with the reptilian brain. Now, this is all research. The reptilian brain, the brain stem, which is primarily concerned with avoiding harm, that fight or flight. Next, the mammalian brain. I don't know why scientists did this. Like mammals, the mammalian brain. And so that's the limbic system, which developed, which focuses on approaching your rewards. And finally, the human brain. Hi, Janice. The human brain today. Finally, the human brain, which is the cortex, which is formed, which is all about attachment. So in every human today, these three systems are constantly working together. So they say in the reptilian brain, the mammalian brain, and then, of course, now we're talking about the human brain. Okay, so when anything happens in our environment to cause us to feel the slightest bit of threatened, ranging from someone cutting you off in traffic to a coworker making a critical remark, your reptilian part of your brain activates in that fight or flight type thing, reactive mode. Okay, so a million years ago, this was a good thing to keep our ancestors alive. The cave people, right? Okay, let me see. The cave people, and y'all can chime in if you want to. So a million years ago, the cave people, this is the type of brain that they use, the reptilian brain, that fight or flight. And however, in today's world, it happens all too often. I think I skipped something. Okay, the reptilian brain is what helped keep our caveman ancestors alive. But we see a lot of people responding now with that same type of mindset. Which we see a lot of this stuff in the news, and this is why I wanted to talk on emotions this month. Okay, so whenever you're pressured or you're worried or you're irritated or you're disappointed, this same mechanism kicks in, which not only feels crummy and can lead to anxiety and depression, but is lousy for your physical health. And like I said earlier, as chronic stress contributes to a weakened immune system and increased risk of heart attack and stroke. All right, so in this reactive mode, reactive mode, your avoiding brain expresses fear and anger. So approaching brain reverts to a scarcity perspective, which manifests as greed, ranging from longing to addiction. So greed, longing, and addiction. And that's that reactive mode. So the attaching system moves into a position of hurt, which may include feelings of abandonment, worthlessness, or loneliness. All right. So when you feel safe and fulfilled, your brain's avoidance system is then calm. Your brain is then calm. Okay. So the approaching drive in this content and the attachment orientation is caring then. So in this responsive mode, not reactive, but in this, your brain is in responsive mode when you're calm. In this responsive mode, your brain is then soothed. You're feeling joyful and you're feeling replenished. And that's what we're trying to get to. We want to feel replenished. We want to feel, joy. We want to feel the good stuff more than that other stuff, the opposite, right? Okay, so the good news is that this is the natural resting state of our brains where we want to feel, more happiness and health. But the bad news is that too many of us spend most of our time in the reactive mode. Is that reactive mode. So reacting is instinctual. Responding is a conscious choice. I'm going to say it again. When you react, it's instinctual. But when you respond, that's a conscious decision. Like, you get into an argument with somebody and, okay, if that ever happened to me again, they try me again, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do A, B, and C. And one of them out of A, B, and C, one of them is going to be, I'm going to lullaby him. And that's not a good thing when you already, like that responding mode, you already set in your mind what you're going to do. And then when you rehearse it, you keep rehearsing it, it happens half the time. You wind up lullabying somebody. Then you got to deal with the police and the court system. You know what I'm saying? So we're trying to get more into that reacting type of mode rather than responding. So when something happens, our body is going to react automatically regardless of anything. And the trick is to become aware of this initial reaction. So resist doing anything. Involve your higher intelligence by considering your options, possible ramifications, who you want to be, and what is going to be in your best interest. And then choose how to respond. Okay, so I'm going to, because I'm an open book, so I'm going to confess something that happened last night, right? I wound up going walking in the park a little bit later than normal. My day just went by really, I don't know, fast or something. But by the time I got out to the park, I walk in the evening because it's been really hot here in Georgia. It's been in the upper 90s, but they said it's been feeling like it's like 102, 104, 106. So I went walking last night. Last night, it was a little different. The park was not filled up like it normally is. It didn't have a lot of cars, but I did see some of the people that I walked with when I got there last night. Hey, Levon. I did see some people there walking that I walked with when I got there. So I parked my car and I got out and I started walking. When I did my second, I'm only doing the short lap right now because I had a surgical procedure a couple of weeks back, so I have to ease into everything right now. And no, my husband was not with me. He was at work. So I went and did my second lap. When I went around the second time, I noticed that the cars were gone, except for one car. And I said, okay, let me get around and get back in the car so I can go. I saw a man walking. He was walking around the track. And so I was cutting around my little corner, not too far where he was. And I always look out the side of my eye to try to be aware of everything. So I looked, and he looked like he was going to take another path, but he chose not to. He decided to come over where I was. And so I started having my little spidey senses, you know, my little superhero senses, the spidey senses. And I was like, okay, I'm not feeling too comfortable right now. And so I'm going to listen to my feelings. So I was saying, oh my God, I don't have anything to help me defend myself. I've been going to this park since it's open for over 2 years. Never, ever felt any type of unsafe way at all. But last night I was like, this is kind of creepy, you know. And so I pray about everything. I prayed. I said, oh God, I said, okay, I don't have anything but my cell phone and you. I said, so I need to know what to do. Should I go on and try to call 911 just in case something tries to happen? And I heard, go live. Go live now. Go live on Facebook. So I pulled up my phone and I pulled it up to live, but I didn't press live as of yet. But I had it up to where the man behind me could see. He must have saw that I wasn't live yet. So he started getting closer to me. I started getting more uncomfortable. So I pressed live and I put the phone right on him where he could see himself on my phone and see people starting to say hi. And so he like kind of walked past me really swiftly and said, hey, and I said, and I kept the phone on him like this. I kept the phone on him like that until he got away from me and until I got to my car. I kept the phone up until I got to my car and I got out of there. That was the first time I ever experienced anything like that at the park that I walk at. And again, because it's hot out here in the South, a lot of us walk in the evening time, but last night was the first time I was out, like, it wasn't a lot of cars. And so I had to tell my husband this morning and stuff, but I said all of that to say this, that fight or flight, I could have just like stopped and said, okay, let me grab a stick and get ready to defend myself, because that's that well, let me see, that's that responding. That's that responding, that, like that conscious decision. But I wanted to, think clearly. I wanted to think clearly, and that reacting type of mode. And I, like I said, I pray about everything. So I was like, God, all I have is you and my phone. What am I? And I heard clearly, go live. And that going live, if that person had bad intentions, thank you, Jesus, the person kept on going. But I know I did not get that feeling for no reason. So in different situations, and that was a stressful situation for me, because when I got in the car, was driving, I was like, that could have went a whole lot of different ways. And again, I have never, you don't even hear anything negative on the news or anything on our local news concerning our new park. And so, and I said, and I didn't want to be the first person that they hear where crime was committed. But I'm telling you, even in a something like that happens like that, we can use our reacting part of the brain rather than just calculate it. Now, I don't know if that was a good enough type of example for you all, but y'all know me, I'm an open book. I don't mind talking about my life experiences. So there is a quote, because our time, let me look at the time, because this 30 minutes go by so quickly. Okay, yeah, we don't have a lot of time left, but I wanted to, is there anything that anybody wanted to share tonight while we still have a few minutes left about something that you may have experienced, like in a stressful situation? Did you react or did you respond? And again, reacting is that's instinctual. That's just automatic. We instinctively do this. We react. Or did you respond? Did you calculate? Was there like a calculated type of thing that you, like for instance, I can say it again. Sometimes when there's a ongoing topic of conversation that's a heated kind of, situation between my husband and I do go into that responding type of mode where I'm just I've already thought it out, what I was going to say and what I was going to do. And I'm moving to that. But as I was doing research on this with our emotions, this really, really, really hit me first. It hit me first about being, rather than using that responsive type of brain, as they said, the mammalian or the reptilian type of brain. Use your human brain. I'm really, really working hard to use the human part of my brain, rather than, Cole said, I get stuck like a deer in headlights. Okay, you know what? Okay, that's not really bad, Cole. That's not a bad thing, because if you get stuck, then you actually have a minute to really think it through. What's going on? What's actually happening? Is this a misunderstanding? Am I right on the nose with what's going on? All right, this will give you the opportunity to say, okay, I'm either going to leave, or maybe you may say something, let them know how you feel. I feel that with this going on, with this situation that just happened, it did not make me feel good. Or I'm just, you know what, I'm giving you all the clinical version of it. Let me talk the way we talk. I don't like what you just did. I don't like what you just said to me, and I'm not cool with it. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to fall back. I'm going to fall back and bye. And just, sometimes that's the best thing to do. If you got to say something, I don't like what you just did. I don't like what you just, and before I turn to something else, let me just fall back and bye. Not even catch you later. Bye. That's it. So, Cole, that really, to me, I think that, according to research, with you pausing, being like a deer in headlights, actually, that's a great defense for you as a man, because most men really respond. Most men, a lot of time, they want to use them hands. So to me, this is a great thing. This is a great mode of defense for you as a male, even as a female. Just like you said, that gives you that time to think about things, to think about it, So is there anyone else that want to share something concerning this. And like I said, I'm an open book. I don't mind giving my life scenarios according to different things. I can tell you one of the clients that I've worked with long time ago, they had a problem. They really did have a problem with this reacting and responding type of thing. Like they was always on 10, like they blacked out all the time. And they really did had to get to the point where they had to go through anger management and connect the dots, why they're so defensive, why their guard was up. So because it caused them to get into a lot of legal trouble, because they were always in that responsive type of mode, that responsive type of, like they was ready, like they was looking for, I'm waiting for somebody to do this. And it had a lot to do with their primary, their foundation, their youth, their childhood. And once they actually connected, it took a while now. It took a good while for them to kind of calm it down. And it took a lot of legal trouble too in order for them. They had to decide jail or this, But a lot of things are stemmed from our childhood. It really is. Our childhood or our previous relationships that maybe were not so great. But like my friend who I shared earlier, Levon says, I don't think I have a bad habit of saying what I feel, but I'm trying to think first these days. Okay. Well, Levon, I don't want to say it's not necessarily bad that you say what you feel. It's how you say it. Is it, Levon, is it how you say it? Like you just totally like go to the left and just go straight for the jugular? Is that the problem? Because again, like I said earlier, and I'm trying not to give you all the clinical version of it, because we're all people. Do you just go straight to the listen? I don't appreciate this. First of all, let me make sure. Am I getting the proper understanding of what just happened here, or what's going on? Or and if it really is that, Levon said, I think so sometimes. So you think you just go for the jugular? Okay. Well, the people that you've just gone, went for the jugular with, what is their response to you? Are you hearing a lot of the same responses from the different people that you hi Yodi, Levon, are you here? Yes, you are. Okay. Well, yeah, there's some things that it's just what it is you just have to retrain the way you speak, your verbiage. I'm not saying not to say what you feel, but it's just how you say it. And I'm guilty too. Because a lot of us from New York, Levon, you from New York. I'm from New York. A lot of us New Yorkers, hey Yodi, a lot of us New Yorkers, because that is the culture, we're always on defense mode. Whether you're traveling or you're somewhere, we're always on that defense mode. But really, I had to learn when I moved out of New York and moved to the southern states, that is not the way of life. And as I started traveling the world, I realized that New York is quite barbaric. Up north, it's a lot more barbaric than the rest of the world. It really, Cole says, is it really a nervous response to automatically laugh at things that aren't funny? I literally can't control it. I literally can't control it. You said, I found myself holding back a laugh when they told me my grandmother died. It wasn't funny, of course. It was my automatic response. What causes that? Yeah. That's your defense mechanism, Cole. And it travels across every type of genre, whether it's a serious genre, or funny. That is your defense mechanism. And and to try to cut it off. You said let me go back. You said I found myself holding back a laugh. Okay, you know what, Cole? Because you held it back, you're already remedying that. Let me stop this. Because you understand that is a part of your defense mechanism. It really is. But I am so grateful that you actually have enough of that human type of brain in you to know when to laugh and when to not. And you're not by yourself. I know a few of my family members, when a stressful situation or like in not an argumentative, but a conflictive type of conversation is going on, their first reaction is to laugh. That's their defense mechanism. And a lot of times they say, I didn't mean to laugh, but Cole says, I really wanted to laugh hard though. Well, you can excuse yourself and go laugh and then come back. But I'm telling you, that is a part of your defense mechanism. So you have to try to figure out or go and that's where like life coaching and counseling comes in, where you just try to find out what is the root cause of that, so you can kind of keep it more balanced. But what I'm seeing here, what you wrote, I am seeing that you are kind of honing in on it, zoning in on it, and there's some control that you have there. If it's something that's bursting out of you, until you can perfect that, just excuse yourself. Go in the car or something, go laugh, and then come back. You know that's a defense mechanism. You laugh before you cry. That's what it sounds like, that you'll laugh before you cry. We know the natural instinct is to cry or to scream or to holler or something like that when it comes to a loved one who's passed. But hey Danielle, but your defense mechanism is something different. And if it ever gets to the point where it's almost uncontrollable, excuse yourself away from people, going to get it out and come back. That's just the way how things work with you. Some people, I have worked with people in a stressful situation. They have uncontrollable itching. They're like scratching, just uncontrolled. That's the natural thing. That's their defense mechanism. They just automatically start scratching, and people are looking at them like, well, you got fleas or something? You got tick? What's going on with you? But that's how their brain reacts to high stressors. They automatically start itching and scratching and stuff. So I don't want you to feel like how your brain reacts is so unusual. I know people that laugh when it comes to high stress, things. Hey Janet, how are you? When it comes to high stress type of events. So, but again, I'm glad that you are zoning in on this, Cole, and you caught it. If ever you get into a place where, just excuse yourself. But I am going to say, you do have to get to the foundation of this to find out at some point why you laugh rather than respond another way. But again, it's not uncommon. It is not unusual. I'm just proud that you have zoned in on it. You get it. And you're learning how to control it when it comes to different situations. All right. Is there anyone else that wanted to share anything before? While you're doing this, I'm going to leave you all with a quote. And it says, the truth is that there is no actual stress or anxiety in the world. It's your thoughts that create these false beliefs. You can't package stress, touch it, or see it. There are only people engaged in stressful thinking. And this quote is by Mr. Wayne Dyer. All right. So, our time is up. You all did hear the buzzer. You did hear the bell. Our time is up. And until next, Cole said, is there a way to work on stopping it altogether? Yes, it is. And that's where a life coach or a counselor comes in, because they're going to give you different strategies to use in different situations. And this is let me go on and say this. If anyone, if anybody is interested in professional one-on-one counseling or life coaching services, feel free to contact me via Facebook Messenger. Now, this is a separate service, and you have to pay for it, because I am a degree counselor. You can messenger me on Facebook, or you can email me at shanrae@gmail.com, and I am a lifestyle strategist, and my aim is to aid you in reaching your life's goals or your life's dreams. And I will put all of this in the feed right now. Right now. Let me make sure it's the right stuff. There we go. Okay, so we're gonna end this. If you have any other questions, I just put something down there in the feed as well. Let me open it, and I'm gonna end this. We're gonna continue this next Tuesday, next Thursday. That's week 3 of our 3 components of emotions. We're gonna be talking about the behavioral part of that on next week, but I am going to end it on this. Let me turn this on. I do not own the rights to this song. I do not own the rights to this song. Mariah Carey does, not me. Okay, but I'm going to end it with this. And until next week, God bless you all. So glad to be with you all tonight. All right. And I look forward to seeing y'all next week. All right. If you have any more questions, anybody, just put it on here, and I'll answer it. God bless y'all. Till next week. I do not own the right to the song. I do not own the right to the song. All right, yes. Baby. Y'all know I used to sing this with her, so. Ow! So. Oh, all right then. Oh, baby. Oh, all right. Okay, that's it. That's what we used to do with her. All right. God bless y'all. Bye-bye. Hey, hey,